The origin of Bontoc. The Bontoc was a large collection of the tribal palm hunts along the Chico River between the Ifugao and Kalinga regions. The in-tribal warfare and headhuntings were still common in the northern Luzon. The Bontoc is originated in the mountain province in the Philippines. As we can see in the picture, it is in between of Abra, Benguet, Ifugao, and Kalinga. So, the Bontoc tribe is also known as the headhunters of northern Luzon. What does the term Bontoc means? So, the word Bontoc is derived from the two morphemes Bon means hip and Tok means top, which taken together means mountains. Now, the word Bontoc refers to the people, its capital, and the people's culture. What do Bontoc calls themselves? Some Bontocs identify themselves as Balangaws, Gadangs, or Kalingas. Um, the term Bontoc is used by linguists and anthropologists to distinguish speakers of the Bontoc language. What is the native language of Bontoc? The native language of Bontoc is Finali. Based on census of 2007, the native speakers is about 43,000. The culture of Bontoc. The Bontoc is a group of former headhunters that has traditionally lived in the Steppe Gorge region along the upper Chico River system in the central mountain province of the northern Luzon. They have traditionally lived by hunting, fishing, and farming. Every Bontoc male had to undergo a rite passage into manhood, which may include head hunting, where male has a journey and hunt for a human head. All male in the Bontoc tribe shall undergo a rite passage into manhood. They need to hunt for a human head.
Religion of Bontoc. The Bontoc believe in a unique pantheon of deities, which is their god, the cultural hero Lumawig, son of Kabunian. It is said that Lumawig descended from the heaven to marry a Bontoc girl, and also he taught the Bontoc people their arts, skills, including the irrigation of their land. Who is the god of Bontoc? First is Ingtutungcho, also known as Kabunian. He is the supreme god of Bontoc and of Lumawig. Second is Lumawig. He is also referred as the supreme deity and the son of Kabunian. He is an epic hero who taught the Bontoc people their 5 core values for an equal society. Third is Chalchal. He is the god of the sun. His son's head was cut off by Kabigat. Fourth is Kabigat. He is the goddess of the moon. He is the one who cut off the head of Chalchal's son. His action is the origin of headhunting of Bontoc. Next is beliefs. Oral tradition tells that Lumawig instilled 5 great lessons to the Bontoc people, namely, first is a man must not steal. Second, one should not gossip. Third, men and women must not commit adultery. Fourth, one must be temperate in eating and drinking alcoholic drinks. And last, number 5, all people must live simple and industrious lives. That are the 5 core values for an equal society based on Lumawig. Next is tradition. The Bontoc traditionally covered their bodies with elaborated tattoos. The Bontoc described 3 types of tattoos. First is the chaklag. Chaklag is a tattoo on the chest of the head takers. Second is the pongo. Pongo is the tattoo on the arms of men and women. Third is the fatek. Fatek is for all other tattoos of both sexes. For women, tattoos were purely for decorative purposes. Women were tattooed on the arms only because the arms were the most visible parts of their body during traditional dances. For men, they can earn their tattoos by killing enemies in intertribal conflicts. So tattoos indicate that the man was a warrior who had taken heads during the battle. The Bontoc attire. Bontoc have cloth or also known as igorot tapis. Men wear them as girdles, commonly identified as G-strings, while women wear them as a girdle and a wrap-around skirt, called lufid. As you can see in the picture, the men wear a girdle also known as G-string, while the women wear it as a wrap-around skirt known as lufid. Next is the Bontoc house. Ato. It is a large compact settlement built among rice terraces and divided into wards. Ato is like a village. Each ato has 15 to 50 houses. It is also a communal center or community center. And next is Chapay. It is a circular open space paved with flat stones. Next is Fawi. It is a house where old men gather. Third is the Pabafunan, or the dormitory for young men and boys in their adolescence. Last is the Olog. It is the dormitory for girls. Fayu. This is what they call to the Bontoc houses. So the basic form is like that one of the Ifugao houses, except that the house cage serves as the granary. It's almost the same like the house of Ifugao, but the difference is that the Fayu's cage is also their storehouse. Next is the parts of the Fayu. First is the Falig or granary. This is their storehouse. Second is Chalanan. This is the first thing you will see when you enter the Fayu. It is a space including the granary. Third is the Ang-an or sleeping compartment. This is their bedroom. The traditional Bontoc house was made of wood or cogon grass. It was pyramid shaped. It was a small and had only one bedroom such that other members of the family could not accommodate it. The Bontoc house cannot accommodate other members of the family because it is small and has one bedroom only. Bontoc wedding. The Bontoc wedding ritual usually spans several days. Before the two Bontoc people can officially get married, they had to go through their ritual beliefs. First is the Insukata Nan Makan, or exchange of food. Insukata Nan Makan is a significant rite in Bontoc wedding. The groom's family will send faratong or black beans to the bride's family. Afterwards, the bride's family sends out food that known as the kaku or salted pork to the groom's family, countered by sending the sapa or glutinous rice. After the exchange of food, the next is the faray or the visit. This is when the bride and her best friend will visit the house of the groom. The next day is the kamat or tusutite. The bride's parents, bearing rice and salted pork, will go to the groom's house. Next day is the putut or to have. Only the relatives are invited for breakfast. It signifies the end of the ritual. 2 days after the putut is the atufang period. This is when the two couple can officially live together as husband and wife, but may not sleep together for the next 5 days, because the atufang period serves to validate their marriage. Dance of Bontoc. First is the Patong or Bontoc war dance. Patong is a part of the head hunting and war ceremonials, inciting feelings of strength and courage as the warriors prepare to stalk their enemy. Second is the Inan Aninit. This dance was performed as homebound victorious warriors are about to enter their ili or village. The Bontoc Festival. First is the Langay Festival. Langay Festival is celebrated annually every first week of April in Bontoc, the capital town. This festival showcased the best of their cultural heritage. Second is the Am-Among Festival. It is town fiesta of Bontoc and celebrated every September. In Bontoc term, Am-Among means a family or clan reunion. What is Bontoc contributions to the country? The highland town of Bontoc is a home to two national cultural treasures of the Philippines. These are, first is the petroglyphs of Alab. These petroglyphs were carved not earlier than 1500 BC. So these petroglyphs would be 3000 plus years old. Second is the stone agricultural calendar of Bontoc. It used motions of the object in the sky to mark a specific time of the year.
Where did Ifugao originated? Ifugao tribe originated from an origin. As they say, they are the descendants of being from Kabuyan. Their first ancestors were Wigan and Bugan, who had left Kabuyan and went down to live in Apahadan, a place in Daya. They later immigrated in Pugao, where the soil was fertile and the wild deer was abundant, near the west bank of Ibalao River, far across from Lawi Valley. The couple set up the first settlement and called it a place of Kiyagan. Ifugao is a landlocked province of the northern Philippines. Its capital is Lawagi, as its closest borders is Benguet. Ifugao or Ipugao is a two-word combined together to create a beautiful meaning. I means the people of, and Pugao means the cosmic earth, or Ipugo, from which means from the hill. What does Ifugao call themselves? As the name suggested, they call themselves the inhabitants of the known earth. What is the native tongue of the Ifugao-non? The native tongue of the Ifugao-non is called Batad. Batad is a Malayan Polynesian language spoken by the northern valley of Ifugao. How many languages are spoken in Ifugao? There are 4 dialects basically used by 43,000 people that inhabit the valley of Ifugao. The culture of Ifugao. As we all notice, the culture of the Ifugao-non revolves around the rise and landscape of the Ifugao. The Ifugao people value kinship, family ties, religion of various cultural and traditional beliefs. The one thing that keeps them unique among all ethnic groups in the northern Luzon is that they were the group that were never taken control by the Spaniards, and for their interesting costumes and tradition. On the Ifugao origin, they are the descendants of the couple Wigan and Bugan, which are the first couple who set up the settlement in the Giyagan. The Ifugao are located and constantly occupying the mountain area of the northern Luzon, Philippines. The Ifugao or Ipugao means I, meaning the people of, and Pugao means the cosmic earth, which also or Ipugu, which means from the hill. The Ifugao people value kinship, family ties, religion of various culture and tradition belief. The one thing that kept them unique from other ethnic group of the northern Luzon is that they are the group that were never controlled by the Spanish, and for their interesting costumes and traditions.
Agriculture of Ifugao. Ifugao farmers for generations have been preserving crops diversity by blending cultural traditions and belief into a farming system which is based in mainly on the world famous Ifugao rice terraces. So, over the last country, the Ifugao rice terraces has been self-sufficiency in food, timbers, and waters. The Ifugao rice terraces is a perfect example of how the physical, socio-cultural, economics, and religious and political environments are all intertwined. It is without a doubt a dynamic culture landscape of unrivaled splendors. The Ifugao rice terraces are priceless gifts to humanity from the Philippine fathers. So, mao to siya ay ang agriculture sa Ifugao. So, sa traditions na pod kay the Ifugao trace their ancestry to two legendary figures, Pokhan and Gwenhan. Now as a legendary ancestor, their names are normally invoked during rituals. Kaning mga pangalan na nga ni si Pokhan o Gwenhan, mo gini siyang pirmi nila ma-invokes during the rituals nila kay magi mga ancestors nga mga legendary. The Ifugao have long depends on wheat rice farming and have developed a proud rice farming traditions. The Ifugao have traditions believe their lives were ruled by spirits called anitos. The most iconic image of Ifugao's cultures are the one of the Banawi rice terraces, and those of theirs bulls, titomics, males, and female figures carved in wood, usually less than a meter tall, and used in rituals as guardian figures. So, mao to yung tradition. So, sa religion of Ifugao supod, uh, about half of all Ifugaos has embraced Christianity, but there's enemies belief have been absorbed into the Christian beliefs.
Beliefs of Ifugao. Many Ifugao still believe the universe was divided into 5 levels. The 5 levels are: 1. The heavens, which itself has 4 superimposed heavens. 2. Fugao, the known land. 3. The underworld, and there is also 4. The world upstream, and 5. And the world downstream. Each location contains a huge number of spirits with each their own name, including those linked to hero, ancestors, diseases, premonitions, messengers, and celestial bodies. For them, each of the 5 levels has a large variety of spirits. Folklore of Ifugao. According to the Ifugao might of creation, the Ifugao are the direct descendants of Wegan, the god of the sky world, whose son and daughter become the first parents of the Ifugao. Legend has it that the god from sky world gave the first sacred rice to the Ifugaos. One of their traditional rice varieties is called Ipugo, rice of the god. It is said that the Ifugao are direct descendants of Wegan, the deity of the sky world, whose son and daughter were the first parents of the Ifugao. And wedding ceremony of Ifugao. In Ifugao, the wedding feast is a community devivor, with the entire community pitching and everyone working together to prepare the food and to provide for the wedding feast. Tradition dictates that marriage should take place a year after the engagement ceremony. And lastly, the wedding in Ifugao creates unity, because of all the people in their community will work together to prepare for food and for the wedding feast.
Burial ritual of Ifugao. The Ifugao bury their dead near the home, leaving them underground for 1 to 2 years. One enough time for decomposition has passed and money has been saved for a ceremony. The family exhausts the body and hold a customary second burial. The bones are cleaned and kept in a special museum or at home. The rituals, the burial of rituals of Ifugao. The Ifugao traditional and unique way of ritual in burial known as bugwa. Bugwa is the practice of exhuming the bones of the dead, cleaning and new wrapping them after a year or more, depending on necessity. The returning them to the grave or lubok. Ang pamilya Ifugao ay may responsibilidad sa kanilang minamahal na pumapanaw na dapat ay respetuhin ito. The second is dance of Ifugao. The Ifugao Munhimong ritual is a dance like activity after a violent death of member of a community. The main move is a single file rhythmically beating instrument called bangibang. And the dance of Ifugao, especially in a ritual, ay tinatawag na munhimong ritual. The main moves single file rhythmically beating instrument called bangibang. Bangibang means isang instrumento na pangmusika ng mga Ifugao na yari ng kahoy at hinahampas ng kaputol na kahoy para patunugin. The Kalinga also celebrate the victory through dancing. Kalinga means isa sa pangailangan o emosyonal ng mga tao. Ito ay isang paraan ng pagpapakita ng pagmamahal sa kapwa Ifugao o kapwa tao. The third or last is wood carving. In wood carving, bulol also known as bulol or tinatawag tinagtago is a carved wooden figure used to guard the rice crop. This bulol rice good are important for the prospering of rice. Their staple food. They are worshipped with rice, wine and the blood of sacrifice fig during harvest festival. And the word carving on Ifugao is known as tinatawag nga bulol. Isa sa pinaka-great and the best known of Ifugao. The figurative sculpture na mas katulad sa kanilang kanihuan ng kanilang tribo. They are carved from a single piece of wood and geometry rendering of human body seem like the people of Ifugao. The Ifugao wood carvings, especially in Northern Luzon, are famous sa mga pamamaraan sa paggawa ng iba't ibang hugis o iba't ibang larawan sa pamamagitan ng paggamit ng kahoy.
The clothing of Ifugao. The male traditional clothing of the Ifugaos are called wano or G-string. The female traditional clothing of the Ifugao is called tapis, otherwise known as a wrap-around skirt. Ibig sabihin, ito ay isang tradisyonal na damit ng mga Ifugao o tinatawag nilang wano o G-string. Ang tradisyonal na damit ng Ifugao ay tinatawag na rin na tapis o mas kilala bilang palda na pambalot. House of Ifugao. The native Ifugao house looks like an elevated pyramid with wooded walls and a ladder. The materials used were made out of timbers tied together without using nails. Despite the way an Ifugao house is built, it is proven to withstand natural calamities like typhoons and earthquakes. Ibig sabihin, ang katutubong bahay ng Ifugao ay parang isang elevated pyramid na may mga dingding na gawa sa kahoy at isang hagdan. Ang mga hindi gumagamit ng mga pako sa kabila ng paraan ng pagpapatayo ng bahay ng mga Ifugao. Napatunayan itong lumalaban sa mga natural na kalamidad tulad ng mga bagyo at lindol. And third is Ifugao Festival. The Imbaya Festival, which celebrates Ifugao culture's rice planting and the harvest. Tunggo and Hongduan Festival is a display of indigenous arts and crafts as well agricultural products of Ifugao people. It is a 3-day activity celebrated every third week of April. Ibig sabihin, ang Imbaya Festival na nagdiriwang ng kultura ng Ifugao, pagtatanim ng palay at pag-aani. Ang Tunggo naman at ang Hongduan Festival naman ay isang nagpapakita ng mga katutubong sining at gayon din ng mga produktong pang-agrikultura ng mga Ifugao. Ito ay isang tatlong araw na aktibidad na ipinagdiriwang tuwing tatlong linggo ng Abril.
What is Ifugao contribution to the country? The Ifugao rice terraces are priceless contribution of the Philippines' ancestors to humanity, built 2,000 years ago and passed on the generation to generation. The rice terraces made by the Ifugao are recognized as the 8 wonders of the world. So before we end our report, I would like to share why is it important for us to study different ethnic groups in the Philippines. So for me, it is important because it is a way for us to understand their differences in order for us to learn how to respect one's individuality and promote peace in our society. Also, intercultural learnings helps us inculcate values such as empathy, open-mindedness, and respect. So that's all, and thank you, ma'am, for giving us the opportunity to share our knowledge about Bontoc and Ifugao's culture and traditions. Thank you for listening to us, and God bless.